How's everybody doing? It's Friday. It's time for the Friday show. Building out. I don't know how to do a good intro with that title. It was not as well considered as I thought it was, but I'm gonna keep it. I've been so busy. My kids have been over for Thanksgiving and they just left this morning, and I was hideously tired, and I went to bed and I woke up and it's like almost 3 o'clock. And it's like, I did my Wednesday show, and I whined and complained about how I'm doing a bad job on the shows, but that's a valid thing to do on Wednesday. Because I either whine and complain about not doing a good job on the shows, or I do a bad job on the show. So I think I made the right choice this week to whine and complain instead. I haven't gotten a whole lot done on the code this week. I had so much stuff that I want to do, but it's the architecture is kind of the sticking point at this juncture. And when you look at what it is that I've got to build, when you look at all of the different elements, right now the only thing I have available is this bit right here. I have the play aspect, but I need to do a shell. I need the audio manager. I need a stats object. I need a save manager. I want to do a gameplay recorder because I want to have an attract loop. Okay. And for those of you that aren't familiar, an attract loop is behind the main menu, something has to be going on, and the old school arcade games used to show gameplay, so you could see what gameplay looked like. And one of the ways that the game would do that is it would have an AI that could play itself, or it would record gameplay from a previous play session and just play that back. And I would like to do a little gameplay recorder so that you can combine. If you do this right, then you can take any given save file, okay? You can take a save file and you can add the recorder on top of the save file. And then once you add the recorder on top of the save file, what you can do is you can treat that as a unit, load up the save file, and start playing the recorded events. And playing the recorded events allows you to play a segment of a game reliably over and over again. And you can play that behind the main menu, and you can just record, say, 30 to 45 seconds of gameplay. And you can run that behind the main menu. And when you're running that behind the main menu, you can see cool shit going on. God, my eyes are so itchy right now. I just got up not that long ago. So that's a thing I'd like to build, but I've never built anything like that before. So I'm not sure how to build it. And every time I look at somebody who goes, I created a save recorder, they don't really go into a lot of detail about how they built it. There's also a bunch of other stuff that goes along with each of these things. Like there's stuff that necessarily goes into gameplay. Like here I've got the spawners. I've got loot tables. I still haven't done loot tables. I should probably work on those. There's a bunch of other stuff that's related to that. I haven't even gone through and done the decoration of the level very well. So there's all of this stuff to do, and I just kind of look at it, and I put my head in my hands and go, oh man, I got so much shit to do. But I do want to be very clear about something. At no point is any AI going to be used in any of this in any way whatsoever. Because fuck that shit. The other thing that's been bugging me is I started playing Death Stranding. I don't like this game. I'm at this stage in the game where I'm supposed to go into this hostile territory and steal back a piece of technology that they stole. And I have no weapons. I'm very confused about this. It's it's really frustrating and annoying to just kind of sit here and go, we don't have any way to get through hostile territory right now. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I feel like this is Hideo Kojima doing something that he's known for doing, which is the thing you need is over there in a box. He doesn't tell you that the thing you need is in a box. He doesn't tell you that the box is over there. He just gives you no indication whatsoever that you need to go over there and get the box. He just sits there and goes, you'll figure it out. And then never says or does anything to make you think of going over there in the first place. It's very annoying. There's also a bunch of stuff that you're just supposed to stumble into. Like, it makes you take a shower until it announces, hey, every time you take a shower, I can make you a grenade. It doesn't make you use the bathroom, but using the bathroom also makes you a grenade. So it's like it's toilet grenades. It's shower and toilet grenade. It's a bathroom grenade system. And you're supposed to just stumble into this. And I stumbled into that by saying, I don't know how to get out of this room. I'm going to try doing everything that's available to do in this room until I find the thing that gets you out of it. And I didn't find the thing that gets you out of it because there's like a little box on the wall that you have to put the cursor into, and then the prompt will show up for, hey, you can leave. You can leave if you point at this area on the wall. And the game looks great. And it has a really interesting storyline, and everything's kind of rolled together really nicely. But it's still a Hideo Kojima game. I don't like the way he designs and builds games, so it's fucking infuriating, and it stresses me out playing this game. And I'm told lots of people rage quit. I can understand that. I'm not in rage quit territory, but there are a lot of occasions where I'm going along and things are just going totally wrong. You're walking along and suddenly somebody sees you and they're chasing after you, so you start running off in the other direction, and you walk into the middle of an ongoing time fall. And having walked into the middle of that ongoing time fall, you start being chased by monsters, and then you're trying to get away from the monsters, and you go, maybe if I cross the river, and then when you're trying to cross the river, you get washed downstream by the current, and all of the packages that you're carrying get washed away down the river, and now you're stuck on an island. You got a monster over here, you got a monster over there, all your cargo's down there, and between you and the cargo is more monsters. This is not fun. I'm not enjoying this. There's no ability for me to do a good job playing this game. And part of it is that you're supposed to be learning how to play the game well. And I did figure out at one point, is like, okay, I know how to use my scanner to avoid the monsters. Yeah, the monster's between me and my destination, and I cannot do anything. I have to go through that space. I don't want to go through that space. I know that I shouldn't go through that space, but I have no fucking choice. I have to go through that space. It's the only place I can go. What am I supposed to do? Just hang around and fuck off until the monster leaves? Is that even a thing? Or is it going to stay there forever? I don't fucking know. And you're supposed to figure out how to solve problems like this, and I get that, okay? And I get that for a lot of people that's interesting and fun, but I also feel like a lot of people are not hanging around and figuring out how to do this. They're going immediately to the internet and going, how do I get to the thing? And those people are fundamentally playing a different game. They're not playing the game of figure out how to do the thing. They're playing the game of go ask somebody else how to do the thing. I don't want to play that game. Death Stranding is an excellent example of a game that is very coherently designed. But it's very coherently designed in a way that I personally don't like and don't want to play. It just isn't in any way rewarding. I've only got one thing I can do, and that is go and pick up the stolen piece of equipment. And I don't know how to do it. And I'm not going to go look it up online because somebody's going to have a guide and they're just like, do X, Y, and Z, and they're not going to tell you why. And once that seal's broken, you know, they're going to solve too much of the problem. They're not going to give me the kind of gentle pointing in one direction to go, you could get a weapon over there. Which I think is what I actually need, is some idea of where I could find a weapon. But I'm trying to avoid asking for help or searching for help because I should be able to figure this out. And if it's something that I can't figure out, that's too much difficulty to figure out, well, that's bad game design. And that's not something that I should reward by continuing to play the fucking game. So this game's 75 gigs. Why is this game 75 gigs? It's fucking huge. Why is it huge? Like, why? I don't understand what's so great about this game. I really don't. I don't know why people are losing their mind over, oh man, this game was amazing. I just don't. Also, I have this vague suspicion that at the end of the game, you find out everybody's dead. You find out that, like, all of these people you've been talking to, all of these people you've had conversations with, they're not real. They're being operated by a computer. It's an incredibly realistic simulation. My fucking camera doesn't focus properly. Anyway, yeah, Death Stranding got me fairly pissed off. Also, I gotta try and do a bunch of GTA Online stuff to grind money for the mansions that are coming out. God, in a week and a half. When does that come out? The 9th? Yeah, I think it's the 9th. So, yeah, week and a half. Week and a half, they're going to release mansions on GTA Online, and I will buy one, and I go, haha, yeah, I got a mansion. And then I will not play GTA Online for months. Oh, wait. Maybe I don't need to waste my time on this. You ever do things just because that's the thing you do? I'm so fucking stressed. Ugh. Oh my god, I'm so fucking stressed. Had somebody DM me on Blue Sky the other day. He said that he watched my video where I was talking about how long it was going to take me to do the art, and he said all you got to do is go use Claude. And I blocked him. I just didn't even fucking listen to him. 'Cause what the fuck? I mean, You could have all this done in a day if you just let the garbage farting computer machine do it for you. Yeah, but it would be garbage and smell like a fart. It's almost as fast to use stock assets. I've bought a bunch of them from Pioneer Valley Games. I talk about Pioneer Valley Games fairly frequently. Yeah, the architecture is like a focus at the moment. This is one of the things that I need to do. I need to do a shell that kind of sits over top of anything. That needs to have the audio manager in it, so that the play option, so that all of these different things have a well-known configuration that's accessible from everywhere in the program. So I need a scene that carries my audio manager and my stats object and my save manager, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to do to make this stuff work. Like, am I going to put a reference to the audio manager into every single scene that I do? Or am I going to handle the audio manager with signals? And I think I'm just going to use a reference in everything. I think I'm just going to have a reference to the shell in everything. And then the shell scene, everything will have a reference to the shell. And on top of having a reference to the shell, it's just going to use public functions on the shell and go, hey, play a sound effect. And all I have to do is identify the sound effect, identify the channel, and then your settings automatically apply to that. That's a fairly easy arrangement. But it's like you got your settings object, and your settings object has all of your little volume icons, and those volume icons turn around and they set the audio signals. And then you've got all of your different stuff that might need to make a sound, and that goes back to the audio manager, and that plays sound. And that audio manager sits somewhere that has some functions to get to it, some kind of public API. And whenever you've got something that needs to be accessible anywhere in the program, you just put it into the shell. And the shell is by nature a singleton. You never instantiate another shell. You use the shell as your default setup. So when you start up the game, your primary scene is the shell.tscn, and that's the main scene of your game. And when your shell starts up, it immediately goes through and goes, okay, when you first start me up, I'm going to show all of the logos and marketing collateral and your warnings and various screens and whatnot. And I'm going to show all of that stuff. And then when I'm done showing all of that stuff, then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to load up your initial attract screen, because you've got your marketing collateral, your MC, and then you come out of the marketing collateral and you have some kind of intro. And you come out of the intro and you have the menu. And the menu is just, this is your quote-unquote game loop. But it's the game loop in the old school section, in the old school sense, where this is what the game is running over and over again. It doesn't run the intro again. Now, some people will upon exiting gameplay, go back all the way to here or go back all the way to here. When you quit a game on a console, or at least when you used to quit a game on a console, what they used to do, rather than try to clean everything up, is just reboot the machine. It was the same way with a lot of your old arcade machines. It would just reboot. But if you reboot, you have to reload the shell and all of that sort of thing and whatnot. I do really want saving to be automatic. Like, I want the game to automatically save every time you exit a level. Every time you enter or exit a level, I want the game automatically saved. So it's like you go into the menu, and when you select play, you have save, play, save. And then right here you have a stats screen. It tells you what your stats are at the moment, and then that goes back to the main menu. But your play action is actually save, play the level, then save again. And then you get your stats screen, and then you go back to the main menu, and you can select the upgrade menu. And whenever you go into the upgrade menu, when you leave, the game is automatically saved. If you buy anything, it's automatically saved. You don't actually need to save when you leave. You just need to save when you buy something. That's all you really need to do. But anyway, this is what I'm stuck on, is this whole skeletal thing about what does the full game architecture look like. Because all I've been building right now, the only thing I've got is the play. The only thing I've got is this play area right there. And part of that needs to be split out, because you need to select which character you're playing, and you need to select which weapon you're using. At the moment, there's only one character and there's only one weapon, so I need to create a second character and a second weapon. So you go into the select screen and you select the character, you select the weapon, and you select the level. So you kind of select all of those things, and then when the level starts, when you select the level, you instantiate the level. When you select the character, then you select the weapon. Once you select the weapon, the character is handed the weapon, and once you select the level, the character is passed into the level to actually play the game. So that's kind of the sequence of events. You identify which character you're using, you identify which weapon you want, and that hands that weapon to that character. And then when you go to play the game, actually, you should pass both you should not do anything with those until the level is selected. When the level is selected, that's when you should give the weapon to the character and put the character in the level. Until you do that, you should just be sitting there with a little placeholder that says this character and this weapon. You shouldn't actually do anything with them at that point until the level is selected. Yeah. I have this thing where I need to understand how everything works in my head before I write all of the code for it and whatnot, because I don't like writing a bunch of code for something that I don't know how it's going to work. I don't like revising stuff after I've written it. I prefer to, if I've written something and it doesn't work the way I want, I prefer to think about what it is that I actually wanted and just write it again from scratch and throw the old one away. That may not be the most productive way to do things, but that's the way that I do them. So I'm weird in lots of ways. I don't know how useful or valuable any of this was. I'm tired. I'm annoyed. Death Stranding is not fun. I'm not enjoying it. I feel like I should be enjoying it at this point, but I'm not. I don't know, man. I really don't. Anyway, do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And, okay, bye.